What is going on, guys? This is Scott and Kyle from Never Hedge, and we have a very special guest today. We got Jason Verners from Bitlectro Labs. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. This is really exciting to be
Yeah.
here.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I feel like I haven't slept in a couple weeks and a few more weeks of not sleeping, but I'm stoked, man. Things are good.
Yeah. So, if you could, real quick, just do like maybe a 30,000-foot view of the current project that you guys are working on. Is it the Dreamers is the newest one, correct?
Yeah, so Bitlectro Labs is a company that started back in like February, March, and we did our first collection called Dreamloops back in June. So that was 10,000 audiovisual NFTs, all produced by Keel Corcoran of Starfucker. Those sold out in about 21 minutes, probably.
Wow.
It was pretty
Really?
overwhelming, right? It was a gas battle. Things got a little crazy. We were shocked. We all just cried essentially on the Discord together.
Yeah.
So now we want to make a more mature collection. So we're going to be doing a Avatar PFP project that's also audio visual. So it's now 16-bit art. And the music is created through a Sega Genesis, which is really cool. So it gives it
That
a
is cool.
kind of style.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So this is a collection of 15,000 avatars. 5,000 are going to be allotted for an airdrop to Dreamloops holders, and then so a 2-to-1 ratio, and then 10,000 is going to be left for a public sale. And yeah, things are just kind of exciting. So it's going to all kind of come together over the next year. We're in the middle of putting together a automated battle arena where those avatars can kind of go peer-to-peer and battle with a small wager. So we're taking some of the elements of our favorite games like Zed Run and things like that, making a fighting style game out of it. And there's a lot to go into. So from a 30,000-foot view, there's a lot going on.
All right. So let's dig into it a little bit. So it also says that your NFTs are redeemable for physical media. So what would that kind of include?
So this is exciting. So with the Dreamloops, 1 in 5 were redeemable for one-of-a-kind cassette or vinyl. So essentially we are in production right now of getting really cool-looking cassette tapes, and Keel's getting a bunch of friends and features to basically put together an album. So it's not just random, like, chip tunes all kind of layered together. This is a proper, produced album. So with the Dreamers, what we want to do is make that a little bit more accessible. So we're going to be doing different kinds of physical redemptions and things like that for the Dreamers, but we're not going to have it as like a lottery system of 1 in 5 being redeemable. This one we're just going to make a little more open to the public. So if you want something more scarce and rare, you can try to hunt them in the Dreamloops or look for the redeemable ones of that, or we're going to be doing something special for the physical elements when it comes to the Dreamers as well. Don't want to say what it is
Right.
just yet. But
That's really cool.
Something will happen, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved with NFTs?
Man, so my story's kind of strange. So I'm a touring magician by day, which is a strange day job. But so I was in university, and I hated being in university. And I was like supposed to be in a first year business course or something like that, and I would just skip all the time. And that's when I learned. I would just sit in the foyer and essentially learn about crypto, and that's where I found out about things like Coinbase, how to make a MetaMask wallet and all that. And back in 2018 is when I discovered what a CryptoPunk was. So I bought one, and then essentially through conversations with me and Gabe, who is the co-founder of the company, we both decided that I should sell it back in like March, which was, not a hindsight 2020, but through all those discussions and essentially reopening the doors of NFTs kind of birthed this company. But my journey just came from me not wanting to sit in a university class and thinking that CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties and a couple other projects were really neat. And it was kind of just a novel thing at first, and now it's really cool to see the use cases really coming out with them.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You got any magic tricks for us?
Oh, man. Maybe. Yeah, I do, actually, which is kind of fun. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we can try something like this. This is going to be tricky on the tight one. So we got my ring here like this. Here, I'll stand so you can see it. It'll go on my pinky like this. You're going to see it go forward. So if I tug like this, you can actually see it go right through the finger. That's kind of strange, right? But this is the thing. Like if I squeeze it just like this, it kind of goes out of frame just for a second. But if it kind of vanishes, it'll go where it started on my finger, like that. You see what I mean? See what I mean? And then that goes into.
That's awesome.
Scott,
that's
Kyle.
awesome.
Thanks, man.
Put you on the spot, and you performed.
Yeah.
Hey, Here to please. And that's also things we're taking with Bitlectro Labs is we're taking all, like, 4 of us essentially on the team come from live entertainment. Like, myself being a magician, Gabe being a DJ in Las Vegas, Keel being a touring musician, Davey being a touring musician who he's a community manager, and he kind of stays hidden as like a musician, but he is as well. There's 4 of us who are used to essentially touring. So we're taking all of those things that we love about live events and now putting that into the metaverse. So we're hosting metaverse monthly parties with a bunch of live DJs.
That's very cool.
That's where we want, we're including Creative Commons licensing with all the music so people can use it, as their walk-on tracks for a magic show, for instance, or they can use it for their Twitch intros or things like that. So it's things that we would want and things that I personally needed. As a young magician, I needed, essentially royalty-free music,
right,
or music I had rights to, and this is the answer to that, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you were saying, you're having all these events, and I've noticed a lot of these NFTs, they're kind of saying, buy it, and you're almost part of our club now. Do you think that's like a huge aspect of where you want to go with this thing? Is it make a community out of it?
Yeah, I think like our community's really grown and really shined over the past couple months. I think it's overwhelming. Like that's one thing that after the drop, when things went so quickly, that I personally had a bit of a crash. Like it just internally, I was like, ooh, like a weight was off me. But the community was already flourishing. Like there was so much conversation happening in the Discord, and there still is. It's even more vibrant than ever. We have like a music synthesizer, that's a big word, tab on our Discord, and musicians just chat and essentially chat gear, and which is, for me, super, super interesting. So that's really interesting. Beyond that, just people hunting and collecting, hunting for the vinyls and the cassettes, collecting certain different traits. There's like a really strong bowl of tomatoes gang, which is like one element on the Dreamloops that is very prevalent in our Discord. So yeah, community is huge, and we think that by doing the things like the metaverse parties and, once things start opening back up and things like that a little bit more, we would love to do an in-life listening party, an IRL one. And yeah, I just think having even conversations like this, it's all about community and just meeting people in a internet space where we all live through our avatars and things like that, and actually having real people discussions is a huge part of us. And that's also why, as a team, we're all public. Like you can go through. We don't live under our usernames or things like that. You can Google my name and basically find where I live, right? And that's important.
Right.
To us
That's
too.
one thing that me and Scott have found in the past has been a little shady with some other groups we've been involved with. Hiding who they were, but it's awesome that you guys are out in the open.
Yeah, it's huge that you're just here's my full name, and here's my face. Like, a lot of developers, they just have, like you said, the little, they have like an NFT avatar, and then it's just like some made up boss man or whatever
Exactly,
like it could
right?
be literally anyone.
And it's like, and I still collect dozens of PFP avatar projects, but even on like my Telegram, it's a picture of me, and then you can swipe through and see my avatars, right? Like I don't necessarily, I'm proud to identify who I am, I guess, right? But when the Dreamers come out and things like that, I'm excited to also create that persona as well, right? Because we're also allowing people, the collectors, to edit the flavor text of the Dreamers. So, like, because the music is randomly kind of assigned to an avatar, imagine if you get an avatar that looks kind of like dark and spooky, maybe a track that's a little more happy, you can then write essentially the color text to explain why, which is neat, right?
That is
so
cool.
You can edit it as you go through, and yeah, it's really interesting.
And when you edit it, would that be permanent, or could you always change it?
That's a good question. I think right now we're kind of in the discussions of essentially that, because it's going to edit the metadata, but we feel like when you look at other projects, something like Zed Run, where you can change the horse's name, nothing, you can only do it once.
Right. And so this is your second project, and what would the toughest thing in terms of going from like idea inception to finished project? Like what is the biggest challenge you guys have had in the first project, and then how would that compare to maybe say this project?
I would say like we all started this project as friends, like and we still are friends, but we we took the best people we know essentially in the space, like all of our friends and people we were just having discussions with naturally. So I think turning that into a working relationship was, I wouldn't say tricky, but a certain hurdle that we had to overcome as a team, which was kind of fun. It didn't make things difficult. I mean, just development times are always long and tough, right? Like, they say that how long does it take for one developer to do? It takes twice as long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that took a long time. I think that the real sprints are right now when we're kind of like right in the lead up to launch. That's where we're really kind of not stressed but really hungry for it. But then following it, we can see the long-term kind of plan. We're trying to build essentially a video game with this battle arena, and we get that that's not going to take overnight as well. So we're looking at onboarding some more members to our team and kind of growing as we move. But also we understand that, and this is us being public as well, this isn't going to happen overnight, and we're going to keep our community really well informed with just teasers and kind of telling everyone where we're at with the games as well. So, because we're looking, it's going to be 9 months probably for the kind of first demo on that, and in NFT land, that's years.
That's forever.
So we get that. Exactly, right?
And would that be after the launch, the game, is it going to be different timelines for everything, or is everything going at once?
Yeah, so it's going to be different timelines. So essentially, short term, we're doing an airdrop for Dreamloops holders. So if you own 2 Dreamloops, you're going to get 1 Dreamer, right? So, and then 4 Dreamloops, 2 Dreamers. So the screenshot window is between October 8th and October 14th. So that's coming up. It's a couple weeks away. Following that, we're going to do a pre-sale, like whitelisting sale of some of the remaining Dreamers. So you can join that by going onto our Discord. There's a form. Tell us why you think you should be whitelisted, and we go through and review that. Following that, on October 16th at 4 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be doing the sale of the remaining Dreamers, which is going to be something like 10,000, and then or less because of the pre-sale one, but 10,000 technically within that sale minus the pre-sale. Following that, there's a lot more metaverse parties and things like that, but into the scope, if we do sell out, our kind of promise and our roadmap is that we're gonna build this game, right? But we need essentially the sellout to fund us building the game, right? And through that's where the time gets long, where we're looking at 9 months essentially for our demo.
Very cool.
Yeah, but that'll be a huge like competitive moat that you'll have over other NFT projects that are just like a picture. You guys already kind of have something like that with the audio-visual aspect. That's just like another degree of difficulty that sets you guys apart from other NFTs and other communities. And one thing I wanted to ask on the audio-visual aspect of, like, how much did that increase the level of difficulty in creating? You said you're having 10,000 of these.
Yeah, so it's 15,000 for the Dreamers. It's 10,000 for the Dreamloops, right? Okay. So what's neat is the Dreamers is going to be a little bit more of a matured collection, even when it comes to the audio. So like, we're going to make sure that we have a different script where it makes sure that the percussion and the melodics are in the same key, if that makes sense. So it's going to sound a bit better, maybe, quote unquote. But when it comes to the Dreamers, you take 100 percussion beats and 100 melodics, and you mix those together through a script. You get 10,000 unique tracks, essentially, right? 100 times 100. So that's where Keel shines, being a musician. And he took, tracks and riffs that he wrote on tour over the years with Starfucker, and essentially put it to use, which was what's really cool. So there's little gems throughout it where, if you're a big Starfucker fan, you might hear some things that you've heard before, kind of in chiptune style, which is really cool, and a bunch of other things where that's just where Keel shines. I don't actually talk to him as much as other members on the team because he is head down making music, making art the whole time, and I think it's really cool to see his process.
That is crazy. It makes them all completely unique too, having him do them all.
Exactly, right? And I think it's neat too, just the fact that he's a part of quite a notable band. Like they just did a show with like Big Boy, which I think is so cool, from Outkast and things like that. And I knew of Starfucker before I knew Keel, essentially, right? Like, I remember when Gabe was like, I'm going out with my friend's band or whatever, and I was like, what's the name? And he was like, have you ever heard of STR FKR? And I was like, oh my god, yeah. And I think it's just cool the fact that, imagine like a small Twitch streamer or something like that who's just getting started, needs an intro track. How cool is it to say that your intro track is like a one of one, like it's made for you, like you own that one track, and it's by a member of quite a notable band for a cost to entry that is like, not as much as even just some licensing things. Like this isn't. It's our floor right now. It's not yet, but it's not 1 ETH or anything like that.
Right.
And I mean, I've spent thousands of dollars on licensing in the past for live shows. So I think that this is a nice entry into that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to say royalty-free music is not a cheap thing to have, for something that you can take and use for like an intro music and things like that. I mean, the royalty-free entry music that we have just for like the intro to our podcast, it was still like a couple $100. So, and you're getting that plus a unique one-of-one avatar along with that. That's huge.
Exactly, and then we also want to provide kind of more utility for the Dreamloops for those people who support us on our first project. When we're building this Dreamlands Battle Arena, we also want people to use the Dreamloops as essentially power-ups for their characters and avatars with their Dreamers, right? So we're still going to add more utility to the Dreamloops. So again, it's just providing value. Like, what else can we build? What else can we do? Essentially, what excites us? Like, we just sit on our team meetings and our Slack lines, just being like, what do we want to do? We have a lot of teams reaching out to us for like helping with their projects, and sometimes it's just not a project that kind of gets us excited, so we won't do it, right? And it's not our style. And since we're just such a small team, we're only 6 members as well. We only have time to do what really excites us, so we really want to tailor that and be like, what do we really want to do? The fact is, we all like racing our Zed horses, but how cool would it be to have a fighting style automated game similar?
Be so
right?
cool.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and again, it's all that nostalgia feel. It's going to be based off like 90s turn-based combat, like the old games, and we're excited.
Is that what excites you the most about this new project? Is the game, or is it something else?
It's a good question. I think uncovering some of the rarer ones as we start unwrapping it, and also the new unwrapping environment that we're building is really cool. We built a 3D unwrapping environment which looks like a virtual desk. So when you buy a Dreamloop, when it came out, it came wrapped with a big question mark, and you could either decide to unwrap it or leave it wrapped. So you would sit at the desk and kind of click it and reveal what your track is. We're building a 2D unwrapping environment right now that looks so sick. We just got teasers in our Slackline for it, and it was miles above even what I was dreaming it would look like. So that really excites me, just to see people's reactions when they unwrap someone that is like a dope homage to a sci-fi show that they used to watch or something like that. Like, imagine if they pull Gabe's character on our Discord. He looks like it's from Tron. I think that's so sick, right? I think that the actual just art excites me, but beyond that, like, we're also including voxelized versions of the avatars for Sandbox. That'll be an airdrop that happens later on. So I'm really excited that once the Sandbox metaverse is ready, we can move our Crypto Voxels parties from Crypto Voxels into Sandbox and have everyone there as their dreamer. I think that's really exciting.
That is.
So there's there's so many things that excite me. There's a few things that stress me out, but it's like a good stress. Like the game is like, it's a big undertaking, and I think that that's a huge project for us, and I think it's really exciting to be a part of that. But even just taking the small wins, every time we do a Crypto Voxels party, we have one tomorrow night on the 30th of September. That excites me, and it just I live every day as it kind of comes, and there's always something new.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think a lot of people are, it's still obviously a growing space, and tons of people are new to getting into NFTs, and they are excited about the community aspect and all that. But I think a lot of people don't know where to get in or what to do once they've even bought one. So what would you recommend someone do if they were to buy, try to get in on your new project?
I would say what's really nice about our project is the fact a lot of avatar projects I find when I go into the Discord, there's some communities, they're not quote-unquote toxic, but there's like, it's less welcoming for like a newcomer who's just trying to learn about NFTs. But since our first project had a mint price that was quite low, it was like 0.026 6 maybe, like it was low, was a really nice introduction for people into the space, right? So we find that a lot of community members are just very supportive for people who are just starting out. So we find that our Discord is the perfect place to kind of learn. If you have questions on setting up a MetaMask, if you have questions on how do I buy something on OpenSea, how do I check how rare it is, can I use tools like Rarity Tools and NFT Explorer and things like that to really learn about the NFT that I just purchased. I kind of think that our community is a really good example of supportive people. Like, even people who are quite busy, quote unquote, like they're constantly streaming on Twitch, they're constantly building, they're working on different companies and things like that, they'll find time to help people and welcome them into our kind of Dreamloops world and the Dreamlands world. That's really cool. And I think Twitter is a great tool too. Like, last night I admittedly should have been working essentially, and I was minting, you know what I mean? I was buying NFTs last night, so it's like Twitter's a great tool, as we all know, just to kind of read what not to do maybe and kind of see what's going on in the space. But just kind of a good echo chamber of it. Our Discord is a really strong community that is really supportive. So I live in there essentially. Yeah. It's the first place I say good morning. It's where I say good night, and it's great.
That's awesome.
Kyle, you got anything else for him?
No. I know you said you're an MMA fan. You saw Woodley get the tat.
I did. I watched Volk escape on Saturday. My God. I think it's cool. That's where kind of Gabe and I really... So, like, me being a magician, and Gabe, he's also a hobbyist magician, so that's how we met, right? And essentially that turned into conversations about crypto, and that turned into conversations about fights, and he's a big fight fan as well. So that, I've flown... I'm on Vancouver Island. I've flown to different provinces to watch fights. Like, I want to go down to Vegas and watch some fights as well. It's funny, I go for runs, and sometimes I, run past Sarah Coppola.
Oh, shit.
And I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Running around the ring, like, oh my God. And no one knows, which is wild, right? But I know, and I think it's so cool. So I'm a big fight fan. I think that's where, that's how I like my Saturdays. I don't know why. I just like watching the fights. And this past card that just happened was
excellent,
was stellar. And I'm a big collector, so sports cards as well. Got a good chunk of UFC cards that I'm pretty stoked.
I need to get in on that because I used to be big on baseball cards back in the day. I still have all of them, but I haven't gotten into UFC cards, but that would be something interesting.
It's cool. Right now it's cool because Panini just got the rights to the cards, so they're doing Prism cards, so you can go for the silver Prisms. They're pretty nice. I liked them too, though, when they were with Topps a couple years ago, because when I was on tour, there were a couple cities that would have card shops in it, and in between shows, I'd run there and get a box. And I remember I got a $200 UFC box, and it was 8 cards. And then that was a big spend a couple years. I was 16 or something, and I sat there. And I remember right before I opened, our tour manager came up and was like, "What if you get a Conor McGregor?" And I was like, "I'd lose my mind." First card was a matte relic of Conor versus Eddie, and I was like, I've won. And then I got a redemption card, so you have to send it in, and it said Max Holloway auto, and I was like, this is exciting. And it came back, and it's a gold framed metal number 1 of 10 on card Max Holloway auto. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's still living. It's in a little safety deposit box. Please be champ again, Max. Let me just lay that in there. But yeah, I got a Sugar Sean auto.
That's a good one.
That pack was wild when you get it. Yeah. So, I really enjoy collecting. That's where kind of the stuff with NFTs really came into. Was just I'm surrounded right now around trading cards and things like that. So it's just bringing that hobby.
And that makes perfect sense. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So did you guys lose your mind this weekend as well when Volk got out of
Oh yeah, we had a lot of money on that too. we were big on Volkanovski, so he won us a shit ton of money getting out of that, and I loved how as soon as he got out he started, just the beat down.
On that. Yeah, absolutely.
Guillotines apparently aren't real chokes.
Exactly. Apparently, and I love
even from Mount. Apparently they don't work on Volk.
It's crazy, and I love the fact how like Volkanovski in that post fight is like, man,
Yeah.
was it tight. Like it was as tight as it could have been, and even Brian, he's like, it was in. Like he's like, it was in. And I am a huge Brian Ortega fan, so I was losing my mind. I didn't have money on it, but I was losing my mind in the opposite. I was sweating, my feet were going, like I was.
It was
oh
a great
my god!
fight.
And I imagine you guys were the opposite.
Great fight.
That third round,
And when he was kicking his
that
feet,
whole card was cool.
I thought he was done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know. So there's a few that I'm really excited for. I want to see Gaethje fight again. Like Gaethje Chandler's really exciting. We flew out to go watch Poirier and Alvarez back in Calgary, which was really exciting. I remember sitting up top with like my nachos covered in jalapenos, and it was like that's when I was I was happy at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm stoked. Where are you guys based in?
So we're both from Connecticut originally. I live in Virginia now, and he's still in Connecticut.
Yeah, I'm still in Connecticut.
Okay. Do like fight nights or anything like that ever come through?
Oh yeah, Bellator is like strictly
Bellator's
in
big.
Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Strictly at Mohegan Sun.
And then
Do you guys ever go to those like live?
we haven't in a while, but what did we go to together? We watched.
It was like a CES or it might have been a WEC.
It was WEC back in the day, and we watched what's his name, Bagoyov, the heavyweight.
Blagoy.
Yeah. And we like sat with his
He was there.
family. We like sat with his family. It was awesome.
We were the only ones
funny.
who came up and talked to him after the fight. He was just there, like with his mom and his dad, and we were just taking pictures with him. And he was the nicest guy. Turns out he got stabbed a bunch of times in where
Bulgaria, I think.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And like shot in the head and stuff. And he's just absolute tank. Nicest guy in the world.
Do you guys remember that guy Tristan Connolly, who came up because of that UFC Vancouver when he stepped in against
Michelle Pereira.
What's his name? Yeah. So I think Tristan's from Victoria as well.
Okay.
I'm like close on it. He's either Victoria or Vancouver, but I know he does a bunch of like seminars in town, so I always see like posters with his face on it. It'd be pretty cool to do one with him.
He's very
one day,
cool.
too.
That
cool
was
fight.
awesome.
Yeah.
Big dog. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he's up to. I know, right? So there's a bunch of fights. I guess to kind of close out, what fight are you guys most excited for right now?
I think Max Holloway Yair Rodriguez is probably that, or Glover versus Jan. I really love Glover Teixeira. He's actually based out of Connecticut.
Yeah. From Danbury, I believe.
So Glover, and then I love watching Max Holloway fight. So
I do too. It's interesting against Yair. I wonder if Max loses that, it puts him in an interesting position.
Does he look for super fights maybe from then on? Like go the Conor route. Look for.
But like I don't even like the Conor route anymore.
I'm
bored of it. You know what I mean? And I love Conor, but like, man, I don't know what the move is. But Max can still, I think, be the best. Like any day.
For
like
sure.
I think if he fights Volk again, it would be even interesting there. See, that's the thing about Brian is I don't know. It's interesting because both title fights he's been in, he kind of got pieced up.
It wasn't very close. Yeah.
You know? No, which is really too bad. And it's like, I'm curious to see, like, will it be another team switch for him? Probably not. Like,
where does he go from here?
The work needs to be done.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's in a weird spot too. You're right.
Yeah, so I almost think it should be. Well, maybe the move is like, what if Yair beats Max, and then you go Max Bryan?
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but there's a bunch of weird things going on. I want to see. I think Gaethje and Chandler's what I want. I want it.
Who do you want in that?
Probably Chandler.
Yeah, it's so close.
I think. I really like Michael Chandler. I like him on the mic too. Like when Tony was going off at him in that press conference, and he just like looks up and he goes, "Thank you, Dana." Like I just think it's so fun. I think he's like, I think Michael's great. I do think Michael can get beat though. Like I don't know who's going to win that. I almost think that Justin would lose. If Justin's going to get knocked out, it's going to happen later in the fight, I feel like. But then I think Michael can get starched, and that's a bit of the problem.
Gaethje hits hard.
You know?
Yes.
I know. So it's like when Michael's go, I don't want to take a back step at all. I'm like, but you've been starched. Like in Bellator, you've been starched. So.
And they have a good card this Friday.
You know.
It's
Yeah, who's
Douglas
this
Lima versus Michael Page too.
An MVP. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is so stupid too. Did you guys watch Yoel too, like 2 weeks ago? Oh my god. I watched some highlights on that one too. Everything's great. Did you guys watch Anthony Joshua lose
I couldn't believe it.
Even oh my god. I can't there's too many fights and we have a Slack line where the team goes, did you just watch that? And we watch highlights. And like I was even talking with Gabe the other day. I'm like, did you watch Jake Paul and Tyron fight? And he goes, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm like, it was like why are we talking about this still? Yeah. Like, is Jake Paul actually a fighter?
I think he's pretty good.
Like,
I think he's at least decent, you know?
Are they going to do a rematch now that he got the tattoo?
I would like to see him fight Anderson Silva because I want him to lose. I want him to lose. So I want him to fight someone legit, and I think Anderson can beat him.
Yeah, did you see? Oh my God, he leveled out Ortiz. That happened in like 2 weeks ago too.
That wasn't even close.
Not at all. The man got laid to bed. That was crazy.
Yep.
And then Holyfield.
Oh, that was sad.
That was
sad.
So sad.
I don't like seeing Evander
God,
Holyfield like
heart.
that. Yeah.
No, my heart can't handle it. There's so many. What's the card with Gaethje and Chandler? Who else is on that? Now I'm opening.
You know what? I don't know offhand. What month is it? Is it coming up?
Kind of. I think it's like October. So it is. Oh my God, November 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Kamaru Colby.
Oh shit!
Right?
Come on.
Roseway Lee, Justin.
That is ridiculous.
And then even the prelims are good. You got Jermaine Durandamy versus Irene Aldana.
Yep.
Irene Aldana. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a good
fight too. Wait, there's more. Anyone else? Oh, Luke Rockman's
I like
back. Oh, and Frankie Edgar versus
Frankie.
Marlon Vega. Or Vera.
I like Frankie Edgar. He's my guy, but that's a tough fight for him.
Yeah.
And
did he beat Sugar Sean? Do we think he did? That's the question. Is Sugar still undefeated?
He's not undefeated.
I think he's
You
undefeated.
do? You think it was a freak accident?
You know what, man? I don't. No, I'm going to go with Sugar Sean on that. No, I think he got beat.
You see Sugar Sean trying to shoot a shot with Dominic Cruz?
Hilarious. I don't understand. Sugar Sean, he's smart. He needs to keep beating unranked opponents so he can go into that renegotiation undefeated. But calling out Dom's pretty
It didn't
cool.
work.
Even calling out Cody Garbrandt's
That's true.
I know it didn't
Yeah.
work. And I love Cody too.
That was interesting what Dom said. He said, I already have something booked with someone higher ranked than me. So who's he fighting? Yeah.
Simple. Yeah,
that's going to be good too.
No. Because is Sugar even ranked
I don't think he is, no. Because he hasn't fought anybody besides Marlon Vera, who he lost to.
Yeah, because Marlon was probably only 15, maybe, right? Like, maybe. I kind of like watching him fight cans.
It's awesome, yeah.
It's fun.
Especially the last guy, the Homer Simpson guy he fought last time.
So good. So good.
Central Mass guys are tough.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Out.
We watched Sugar's debut from a hotel with a bunch of friends. We were supposed to go see J. Cole in concert, and he postponed for a night. So we were like, let's watch Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series and have some beers. And then we sat around and watched this kid fight. And we all lost our minds. And I remember now, even guys who aren't big fight fans texting me being like, is he fighting still? Like, he's on tonight? Like, I have to watch. So, it's crazy.
It is. Is there anything else you want to shout out about Bitlectro before we leave?
Nah, man, just come hang out in our Discord. We would love to see everyone in there. Things are getting really exciting. There's going to be a lot more giveaways happening over the next couple weeks as well. And just come have a conversation with us. And we'd love to, if you have any questions, we'd love to help you out and walk you through that. We'll host another community chat, like an Ask Me Anything, in our Discord as well soon. So come hang out. And we're excited to see everyone in the Dreamlands. And excited to see everyone in our Crypto Voxels parties over the next months, too. So things are going to be good.
All right, yeah, we'll be in there for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
So, Jason, the only thing before we hang up, just keep your browser up for a couple minutes. It's just got to finish uploading to the server. Okay.